Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Growth Switch with me, Cyril. Remember, if you've missed any of the insights from all the episodes we've done, you can go to the YouTube page, the Growth Switch with Cyril, and you can also go to my personal website, cyrilmadewa.com, and you can go to the Growth Switch tab, and you'll be able to catch up on all the insights there. We have everything for everyone, depending on your journey. I'm sure we've got something for you that you can utilize on your journey to help you grow and help you make a positive change and move towards achieving your goals. In this episode, we'll be talking about a topic of leadership, basically what it means to be a leader, what is leadership, what are the considerations that you need to think about if you want to be a leader. So yeah, I'll be sharing some high level insights onto that, and hopefully those can assist you, particularly if you're considering if you the uh, the basically the type of careers you want to pursue and the leadership requirements that may come with that. So basically, firstly, we can just talk about what is leadership, right? So basically, it's about organizing and mobilizing people towards achieving the same goal, right? So you are seen as the leader, being at the front, directing perhaps strategy, direction, and you walk the journey with a particular set of group of people to achieve a certain goal. This group of people will basically rely on you to basically assist in terms of vision and direction and so on and so forth, such that everyone arrives at the destination safely, and all the goals set up front are then achieved by arriving at that destination. For example, this plays out in the real world through, for example, a huge organization which may have, say, a leader, a CEO, who might help with direction and so on and so forth. And then the employees effectively come into that organization's employment, trusting that those in leadership have got the right vision and the right goals that will effectively lead to the organization growing and everyone else growing, whether be it from a skills perspective or finances or so on and so forth. Just think about yourself. If you think of going into employment into any organization, you wouldn't necessarily go into an organization where the leadership is considered quite suspect, and you might not necessarily trust that they have the best interests of the organization at heart. So yeah, so in a very high level, there's leadership. The definitions can go into much more complex aspects of it, but I'll leave it as that because this is a very high level overview on leadership. So in terms of leaders, another aspect is this. So you get mainly two types of leaders. You get those that are born to be leaders. So you might think of someone who, from a very young age, has always been in some form of leadership role. If I think about myself, particularly if I look back into since school and so on and so forth, I've always in some way ended up in a leadership position. In school, I was had prefect, was class rep, um, you know, uh, uh, um, when it comes to projects, school or university, I was always ending up being the group leader, mobilizing people to basically do their part in putting it all together. And even recently, there's a fair amount of leadership roles that I've assumed or been elected into recently. So perhaps you could take a look at that and say, perhaps this is something that I was born with. People are recognizing the natural skill sets that basically I come with when it comes to leadership. And of course, the same with other people that you might look at, be it like celebrities or politicians or anyone who's prominent, that you might look at and say, okay, now that person is a leader. They're a leader either in their field or in society or so on and so forth. Yeah, so people are either born naturally with this, or you get the other aspect where people can also where the skills don't come naturally, but they can be learned, right? So basically, you can go through a process or a leadership program type of setup that then allows you, when you come out of that process, to come out to be an exceptional leader. And there is no, how can I put it? There is no school of thought per se that says the other aspect is better than the other, because essentially it's all about, how good you are as a leader, and how good you are is determined basically on a number of aspects depending on your field and so on and so forth, and obviously your impact on others. So there's no school of thought that says either or is good, or rather either or is better than the other. So you can learn it. Like anything I've been saying throughout this video series, there's no skill that you cannot really learn. Anything can be learned as long as you put your mind to it and you determine to learn it. Okay, so you can learn it. Go through leadership programs. I'm sure you've heard of all kinds of leadership programs that can be run by various organizations, universities, or other organizations that offer these. You can sign up. At times these come at a fee as well, but yeah, you can learn it, and you can acquire the skill, and you could be just as good as someone who can be considered to be naturally gifted as a leader. Okay, now you need to. So as a leader, one critical aspect as a leader is self-awareness and understanding what your leadership style is, right? So in terms of leadership styles, you can get, for example, there's three main ones basically. It can be one where it's more of a dictatorship, where I'm telling you this is how you're gonna do it. I don't care what you think. This is how you're gonna do it, And for each of the three, there can be pros and cons, right? So for this one, you might have more disgruntled followers who feel that you're not taking in their points of view, and then they are as much as part of the journey as you are, so that might cause a bit of friction in that case. But on the other end, you might have far more direction, and there might be more progression because you're more direct in terms of how you leading this organization or task, and you can have the other spectrum on the other hand, where it's more of a democratic type leadership, where you take everyone's contributions into your confidence, and and everyone contributes and whatever. But on the other scale again, there can be less direction because there's many voices coming in, and you're trying to please everyone. And then there can be a middle ground where it's a mixture of the two styles. So it's up to you to decide what you're comfortable with, and remember, your leadership style is not always a default. You can change it in terms of what is the environment you're in. For example, if you're leading people who are not necessarily capable of providing some sort of direction or input in terms of that, they are more doers than actually providing any direction strategically or input into that, then you might be better off adopting more of a dictatorship style. And the word dictatorship is terrible in terms of how it sounds, but it's more of you are the one providing more direction, basically. But if you have people who are more than capable of providing input strategy, helping build a vision and so on and so forth, then you might adopt the other style, right? Where it's more of a democratic style, style. So it depends on the situation, and remember, the leadership style is not always static. It changes depending on the situation. Okay. As a leader, one of the very important bits is you need to inspire people with your actions, right? So when people look at you, so they must want to be a leader, one day as well. They must want to, follow you, wherever it is that you are taking the organization or that task or whatever it is that you're leading. So they must look at you and think, oh yes, yeah, I definitely want to do this. I want to follow Cyril. I understand where we're going, the vision where we're going as an organization, or where this task or this project, whatever it is. So you must inspire that in people. If you don't inspire that in people, it can be very challenging and tough to basically have the people following you, understanding what it is that you're trying to do as a leader. Okay. Also remember that you lead people, right? So don't now wander off and go the other way, and then you leave your people on this way. So remember that you lead people, and you need to always take people with you on the journey. It's a journey. It's amazing how sometimes you find that the leader has gone like way ahead and left the people, and the people don't know what's going on, but the leader is going, and he's not even looking back to see whether are the people with me. So it's important that the people travel the journey with you all the time. Okay, as a leader, you require very high level very high levels of emotional intelligence, right? If you want to learn more about emotional intelligence high level, you can look back to the episode we did. We did an episode on emotional intelligence, and because you deal with people, right? You deal with people's emotions. You're not leading robots; you're leading people. So you need to be able to relate with people, so that that leader-follower relationship is conducive, and that it's one that is creates an environment that is fertile for basically growth together as a group, the leader and the followers. Okay. And then, as a final thought on this topic, if you can't stand people, you have no business leading them, right? You lead people, not robots, like I said. If you find it extremely difficult to deal with people, then you're gonna find leadership to be quite difficult. You find people in a leadership role, and they are more specialists than leaders, if you know what I'm saying. So someone who's quite good at what they do, if you give them, say, a project, they will get it done, they will execute it. But if you throw a people element in there, then it becomes quite a storm, and basically the people that they work with, they basically destroy relationships rather than build them. So yeah, if you can't lead, if you can't stand people, you have no business leading them. It's quite a strong statement, but I'm sure if you think about all the leaders that you've particularly not enjoyed working with, or you have struggled working with, not because they didn't have very good people relation skills, emotional intelligence, and etc. Okay, all right. So that is where I'll leave it at for now. So like I said, this was a very high level overview on leadership. It's a very huge topic. There's a lot of material on this if you do your research. Some of which could be free, and some of which, like I said earlier, if you want to go through an actual leadership program, that might actually come at a cost depending on where you sign up for it. But yeah, if you found these insights useful, you can feel free to share them with others. And remember, you can also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, where we sometimes post material in between the YouTube content. And you can also go to the website cyrilmatiba.com, so you can catch up on all the other activities that are happening. And yeah, remember, if you can't stand people, you have no business leading them. And if you don't feel like you've got the leadership skills, they can be learned. Anyone can be a leader, and quite frankly, everyone is a leader in whatever position or situation that they're in right now. Yeah, and let's grow together. Thank you.